How exposure in schools can lead to malignant mesothelioma. Most people are aware that malignant mesothelioma results from exposure to asbestos, the compound commonly added to drywall and other construction materials before 1980. When they think of asbestos cancer, the first thing that comes to mind is usually the construction workers who handled the compound directly. However, as more and more cases receive mesothelioma treatment, it is becoming increasingly clear that many of the disease victims didn't even work in the construction industry. In fact, many of those diagnosed with malignant mesothelioma were students and teachers exposed at school, long after the construction process was complete. Students and teachers unknowingly exposed before companies announced the significant dangers of asbestos cancer. Few contractors thought twice about using the efficient compound in the construction of school buildings. Without the evidence of its detrimental health effects, it was just a benefit. The compound made materials much stronger without a lot of added expense, which meant safer schools with more money left in the budget for books and other educational tools. Because it seemed like such a good idea, schools across the United States included it in various forms. The teachers and students at these schools had no idea at the time that even very limited exposure to asbestos could cause malignant mesothelioma. They walked past the piles of dust created by workmen installing and repairing asbestos materials without thinking twice. They had no idea that these piles of dust would later set them on a long and painful path to mesothelioma treatment. The danger of asbestos exposure doesn't stop at school. Unfortunately, asbestos wasn't only found in school buildings. The same hazardous compounds were often found at personal residences, compounding the risk to children and teachers who were already exposed to the deadly substance while at school. In addition, children whose parents worked with asbestos and teachers married to such laborers had further contact with the dangerous fibers. Any exposure to the compound raises the risk of asbestos cancer, and prolonged exposure like that of students and teachers makes malignant mesothelioma an even higher probability. How asbestos cancer is formed. When the students and teachers would pass the piles of dust, they would accidentally inhale the asbestos fibers into their lungs. Once there, the fibers would infect the mesothelium, which is the lining outside of the lungs. Occasionally malignant mesothelioma would be found elsewhere in the body, but the tissue surrounding the lungs is by far the most common site of the disease. Tumors caused by malignant mesothelioma would start to grow within a lining, causing the patient to experience extreme pain and discomfort. Mesothelioma treatment is focused mostly on managing this pain. However, the danger isn't purely from the asbestos cancer tumors themselves. Mesothelioma tends to metastasize very easily, meaning that it spreads throughout the body quickly. Mesothelioma treatment is not effective at stopping this spread, and all too often the disease is not discovered until it is too late for anything to be done. In addition to spreading fast, mesothelioma can easily become deadly lung cancer as well. Paying for mesothelioma treatment. Although mesothelioma treatment can only be mildly effective, it is nonetheless worth it, if for nothing else than to help ease the intense pain caused by the disease. Sometimes it is only a matter of helping the person afflicted with asbestos cancer to be more comfortable, but the cost of treatment can still be considerably high. To assist with paying for treatment, consider looking into legal options. Courts tend to overwhelmingly serve justice to victims of malignant mesothelioma, holding the companies who failed to protect workers and citizens liable for their actions. You or your family may be able to obtain significant damages awarded, or reach a settlement that will help provide for mesothelioma treatment. It is important to retain a good mesothelioma attorney when seeking damages to pay for mesothelioma treatment. These attorneys specialize in mesothelioma cases and have the experience, skills, and knowledge background to effectively handle your case. They will also typically have access to a network of experts on mesothelioma treatment and science to rely on in trial. With the help of a mesothelioma lawyer, justice can be served. The companies can be held liable for their omission of vital, life-saving information. Although lawyers can't remove the asbestos cancer, or make treatment of the disease completely effective, they can make your struggle with the disease more comfortable and ease the burden on your family. If you suffer from malignant mesothelioma, finding an experienced attorney is definitely something to look into. http://www.mesotheliomaattorneyfreeconsultation.com. Francisco Rodriguez. About the author. Do you need a mesothelioma lawyer?